Josh Duggar's conviction for downloading pictures of child sex abuse is upheld by an appeals court. Josh Duggar's conviction for downloading pictures of child sexual assault was affirmed by a federal appeals court. Armonk, Little Rock. Josh Duggar's petition to have remarks he made to investigators during the search that turned up the photos hidden by the judge rejected by a federal appeals court on Monday. Josh Duggar was convicted guilty of downloading images of child sexual assault. The Duggar family's appeal was denied by a 3-judge panel of the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Duggar's huge family was the subject of TLC's 19 Kids and Counting. Duggar was found guilty in 2021 and is currently incarcerated for 12.5 years, after a Little Rock police detective discovered child sexual abuse material was being shared by a computer traceable to Duggar. Federal authorities looked into the family. Investigators stated that in 2019 a computer at a car dealership Duggar owned was accessed with pictures showing the sexual assault of children, including toddlers. Duggar's attorneys contended that since his attorney wasn't there, statements he gave to investigators during the search of the dealership shouldn't have been used at trial. Duggar allegedly questioned the agents, "What is this all about? Has anyone downloaded any juvenile porn?" Comments that were eventually introduced as evidence in the trial were, and that he declined to disclose if he had looked at such stuff online. Despite having his rights read to him, the agents interviewing Duggar made it apparent that he was not being held and was free to leave, according to the appeals court. The panel also noticed that he wasn't detained once his interrogation was over. Instead, the court found that he ended the interview on his own, which is rarely a choice for someone who is in prison. Justin Gelfand, a lawyer for Duggar, stated that they would consider all of their alternatives and disagreed with the court's decision. The court also rejected Duggar's claim that his attorney should have been permitted to inquire about a former employee of the dealership who had previously been convicted of a sex offense and had used the same computer. After the judge said they could not bring up the earlier conviction, Duggar's counsel did not want the former employee to testify. The panel concluded that by allowing the former employee to be questioned without bringing up the previous conviction, the judge in the case achieved the correct balance. The analyst who testified that metadata on the former reality star's iPhone linked him to the crime was disqualified by the court, and Duggar's challenge to his qualifications was also denied. Following claims that Duggar had abused 4 of his sisters and a caregiver years previously, TLC canceled 19 Kids and Counting in 2015. After receiving a tip from a family member in 2006, authorities started looking into the abuse but ultimately decided that the statute of limitations had passed for any potential prosecution. After the claims reappeared in 2015, Duggar's parents said that he had privately admitted to the fondling and apologized. Duggar later issued a public apology for an undefined act and resigned from his position as a lobbyist for the conservative Christian organization Family Research Council. A few months later, he also publicly apologized for having an affair with his wife and acknowledged to being addicted to porn, for which he later sought therapy.